Alrighty, here, just a quick little tutorial about how to use the snipping tool and to capture graphics and also to get rid of the background in those said graphics. So a couple different things. I'm going to show you my desktop here and we'll get started with this quick little tutorial. So just using my Block 2 class as the example, go into coursework here. We're going to head down to our word processing lab project that we're working on. Now, in that project, one of the things it says to do is to get a hold of the graphics. And so you're going to be, normally we would ask you to make your graphics, but in this case, we live in 2026. So this assignment, let's work in the new rules, which is that most people either capture graphics from somewhere else to reuse, or they create them themselves using Adobe Express or another graphics program. So I'm just going to go through a couple different options with regards to that. So if I was to, say, be making a sign and I needed a no running sign, so I just typed in here, I just said no running sign, it gives me like a million different options, right? And we're not selling our stuff, so as far as I'm concerned, going in here and capturing this sign is not considered like massive copyright infringement because we're just going to post this for an assignment. It's educational purposes. There's a lot of reasons why copyright doesn't apply in this situation. Now, a couple ways to get this graphic out of here. I could download this graphic and bring it directly into Adobe Express. So in this case, because this is like an open source, I could just say download. It's going to download to my downloads and I'll be able to use it later, okay? If I don't want to do that, let's go back one step. If I want to use what's called the snipping tool in Windows, I can just go to the Windows, I can type in snip, it brings up the snipping tool app, which pops up as this little square here. Now, I had already previously done a snip earlier today, so I'm going to do a fresh one for you. So I hit new, and then your screen often will go gray. You need to highlight the portion that you want to snip. Once you let go, it will say, hey, is this what you wanted? Would you like to save this now? So I go into save. Make sure you know where this is saving. So in this case, I'm going to go into my Marketing and Management Block 2 class. And I'm also going to rename this to be no running so that I know what that object is. I'm going to hit save. And now I have that image that I can work with in my Word project. So when I go into Microsoft Word, I have my lab rules here. I'm going to say insert picture from this device. I'm going to search this computer, this PC, my F drive, go to Marketing and Management Block 2, and there's my no running PNG that I can add in. Now, I can resize this. I can make it bigger, smaller. Right now, when it first comes into Microsoft Word, I can't move it around very well because of the way that the text wrapping is set up. So in this case, I want to set it up as in front of text. And then that gives me the maximum amount of flexibility to move it around. Should I want it to go behind, if there's a situation where you want it to go behind the text, you can say behind text, and now the text will overlap over top of that graphic. So a couple different ways to work on that. But one of the things that if you notice, it has a white background. That may or may not affect your design. In some cases, it's fine to have the white box, but a lot of cases, it's a little bit annoying to have the white box. So I'm going to show you a cool trick. I'm going to spare the time delay getting into Adobe Express. You all have access to Adobe Express. You simply, if you just Google Adobe Express and then log in using your school email, you will have access to Adobe Express. And then in the next couple days, once all your profiles update, you'll have access to all the Adobe programs. But for today, we're just working with Adobe Express. So in this case, I can just hit the plus sign. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to upload media. I'm going to find the screenshot I took. So this one screenshot here. This is the original. When I hit open, Adobe Express is smart enough to say, hey, are you creating a new design? Would you like to add this to a design? Would you like to edit the original? Or are you just wanting to remove the background? Because that's one of the things that people do a ton. So I just want to hit remove background. It will bring up this window. I'll be able to see that it's going to remove the background. And I say, you know what? I love it. The checkers is all the clear, transparent part. This will work perfect for what I want. I don't need to even go any further. I can simply hit download right now. It will download that PNG for me into my downloads folder, and I can then work with it in my Microsoft Word. So I can go back to my downloads folder. It'll show up in my main computer download folder. I would highly recommend going in here and put no running, no background. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it. So the short for cutting things, the shortcut is Control X. Will cut this picture. Again, I'm going to go back to my F drive, Marketing Management Block 2. I'm going to Control V and paste this into place. And now I have this image that I can use when I'm back in Microsoft Word. So I go to Microsoft Word, I go, whoopsies, I go Insert, and I want to insert a picture from this device. And then I'm going to go with the no background one. And if you notice the difference, now I've got this cool transparent version of it, and it only took me a brief second to get that organized. I'm going to change my text wrap again. So now I have maximum flexibility, but I have a really nice clean graphic that I can use. I would add my text box in and put big bold letters that says no running. So this will help you a lot when it comes to your lab rules poster assignment, but also looking forward to what comes next. How many windows does Mr. Wright have open? Hang on, where did I go here? Where did your assignment go? Was it in this one? Did I go? Here, there we go. This next assignment, assignment 2, your ribbons assignment. The premise of this assignment is you are going to go through the Microsoft Word toolbar, and you are going to grab snips of the Microsoft toolbar, and then you are going to write them down as to what they look like in your, or excuse me, give a description of what those various different keys all do, right? There is an old video here. I won't have time to replace the video until later this week, but the bottom line is you're going to go through Microsoft Word. You are going to go to your Home tab. You're going to say, okay, all these tools in this one section represent a certain thing. They're all formatting my graphics. So I can cutting, copying, and I have my format painter, right? If you highlight over top of them, they will actually give you like a ton of information about them. It's actually one of the nice things about this program is that it has so much information built in for you. So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to identify what the shortcut key is. So for pasting, Control V is to paste, right? And for cutting, it's Control X. You're going to identify what all those shortcuts are and give a little description of them. But in order to grab the graphic here, the best that I know is, again, to use that snipping tool, right? It's to go into your Start, Snipping tool. Now, there is a shortcut to this, which is you can use Windows Shift S, and that will bring up the snipping tool just right away. And you can simply grab the section you want. When you let go, it will actually automatically make a snip for you, and it will throw it into your pictures folder under screenshots. And if I go to this one, I can see that it has made a screenshot for me right here. So this is the screenshot I just took. I could copy and paste that into my new document that I'm going to create, and then I would write out my descriptions of what my shortcuts are and what those buttons do. And then I would go to the next section, okay? I want you to break it down into chunks that make sense to you. If you notice, a lot of these after design, it gets a little bit redundant here in the sense that like all these things are just various different layout stuff. So there's no sense us creating like individual graphics for all these different items that we really would hardly ever use. Like we're not going to use mail merge, setup, formatting in our future presentations. Unless you get into actual business, we're not learning about that in the grade 10 level. So I only need you to do the first number of tabs here. The Home tab, the Insert tab, Draw, Design, and Layout. Those are the main ones because these other ones are very specific to specific things that you may or may not be actually doing. And like, I guess the View tab is pretty important. This shows you how the various different views are laid out. but like you're not going to have the help tab and be like, what's the shortcut for the help tab? That doesn't actually help you on a day-to-day basis necessarily. It's there if you need it, but we all know what it is. The ones that are important are these first 5. That's what I'm expecting for your assignment. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of information about the upcoming ribbons assignment and also some tips and tricks for the word processing lab. Yeah, there we go. Have a good one, and we'll get on to our presentations now.